Okay, so we're going to start off today with the Whiskey 1 Alpha team from Lithuania. And speaking will be Geddes Lima Yankee 9 Alpha and his partner Mindis Lima Yankee 4 Lima. And they finished number 6 in the competition. So with that, Geddes, go ahead and give us your presentation.
Okay, it's Geddes Lima 9 at the microphone. Hi, everybody. This is our short presentation how the Lithuanian team performed in WRTC 2014. Okay, after the WRTC 2010 in Moscow, where we finished at the position 7, I learned that the 2 people is not enough to do all logistics, technical support. Therefore, we decided to have a technical manager. And at this time, Gintaras agreed to help us, so we thanked him a lot. You can see in this slide that only I had some experience at the WRTC. All other team members for the first time at the WRTC. Okay, entering the qualifier process in Europe 3, which covers all large area of Scandinavia and Baltics, with many of very high competitive contestants and many highly technical equipped stations. I knew that I want to see Mindis LY4 Lima as my teammate at this time. So I knew that it would not be able to qualify operating from my home station, where I had only the wire antennas for the moment, and I'm very glad that our large club, the members made step forward and let me use their antennas and checks whenever I need. So my big journey over to Lithuania began, and usually on Friday night, I'm like either to the Alex, usually LY1 radio, or Alberta's LY5 radio QTH, taking almost all of their stuff out of the table, putting on mine, instead installing FT1K and FT990 transceiver that I have, single of 2 radio box, computers, and all the other necessary things. Usually, night of the contest finish, I collected all my stuff and was driving home to be at my work at the time. So you can see that for the qualification, I was driving a lot and operated mostly, not say all the time, low power. I knew that that helps a lot. For the preparation, we knew that, of course, when you're operating low power, you become accustomed. You know where to call CQ, when to finish call CQ, how to find the frequency, how to find for the frequency, and so on, so on. So we consider it the preparation for the WRTC as a very serious process. Therefore, we try to operate together with Mindis as often as possible. This includes, you can see on the bottom three contests that we have checked: IRU 2013, CQMIR contest 2014, and the Russian DX 2014, where we tested all the equipment. Everything was put in the order that we were going to bring to the United States. And apart this, we operated with Mindis together in some contests as a part of the multi Lima Yankee 7 Alpha team. This includes both CQ Worldwide DX Contest of 2013, WPX CW 2013, and also both 2014 CQ WPX Contest. So it's many of the contests. And while time to WRTC approach it, we both use a Morse runner quite intensively as well. Like others, we downloaded the biggest WRTC testing stations logs. We asked other guys to send us their logs from IARU 2013 to learn about propagation and others on the other side of the Atlantics, to learn the special times, why and when the rare DXs show up, so 90 meters and so on. So finally, we thought that we were prepared for the event pretty well. Okay, you can see that a couple of the slides shows the stations I were operating from. It's my friend Alberta's Lima Yankee 5 radio, which lives just 100 kilometers away. And you can see it is antennas I used in most cases, and also the bottom picture is the configuration of the station, the FT1000, FT990, and my SO2 R-box and so on. And this is the picture of Lima Yankee 1 radio, of Alex station, also the same transceivers, it's just a different radio. Okay, so we had technical manager, Lima Yankee 5 Yankee, and this is the drawing diagram that by LY5 radio. So we decided to bring to the US the equipment as listed here, FTDX3000 that Mint is operated with, and FT1000MP is my old transceiver that I use it in WRTC in Moscow. 2 BPFs made by 5B4AGN, triplexer 6-pack switchers made by 4OT Alpha, 2 micro keyers, micro RAM, and 2 micro SDR to make a pan adapter to notebooks with test, and that was our decision. And I think everything were working well. You can see on this side that the preparation continued until the very late end. Even the day before the contest, the day before the parting, we still a lot of things to do. But everything was okay, I think, and finally on Wednesday we were met at the JFK airport by Mike and 2GC. So we thank him a lot, and Mike met us and bring us with all our large luggage to the car rental station, showed the way to Westboro, presented us very detailed printed legend how to get there. So everything was okay, and everything was okay until until the Friday morning, I think, because at this time, just before I had to go for the drawing procedure, we learned that one of our computers does not load up. That it shows us the blue screen and continuing reloading. So the drawing position was actually good. We got the spot 14D, which is in not quite close to the ocean, but anyway, it's at least in it was in flat area. And this is, you can see from this slide that I am not in the very good shape, thinking what to do, how to do, and how to substitute the broken computer, or maybe it's possible to repair it. Our referee was K4BAI John. It's a very, very nice man, and I met him the first time in Slovenia in 2000, so I know him, I knew him, and I was very glad that he was our referee. Okay, that's this slide shows our QTH. We met. You can see from the slide that there was some brushes, but actually we were thinking that it's very good QTH because we could not see any high hills towards the Europe, just the trees, and that's all. But later, when we learned a little bit terrain profile, we discovered that we were located very low, just 30 feet above the sea level, while our rivals, that's the champions K1A, they were maybe 100 feet higher, and especially the blue one Lima, they were 200 feet, almost 200 feet higher than we are. Also, they were located in the same area 14th. But anyway, as you know, we arrived to the station, and it was very, very late arriving, because when my computer crashed, we tried to fix it, and of course there was not success. And we made a consultation with the IT staff at the WRTC. They simply said that it's a hard disk crash, but I could not believe it, and we tried to get it to life, and we spent a lot of the time for this. At the same time, I just asked it where I can buy a new computer, and then I was offered by the organizers to get the spare one. The Dell computer was lying on the ground, and they simply gave me this one. And so all we needed to put all the programs, including WinTest program and all the peripherals and so on and so on. We were busy all the evening, all the night, and we missed a warm-up contest, of course, and finished very, very late. But anyways, it looks like that everything was working perfectly. No any problems. All the PAN adapters, everything was okay. And just we got some interfering between 10 and 15 meters, but we were able to solve this program. On this slide, you can see the very nice people. That's the volunteers, and some volunteers, they were very, very helpful. Well, in the morning, when we came over by the way, to the hotel, when we got to the hotel, it was the midnight exactly, and there was only two people chatting in the lobby, VK2AA and G3SXW. Bernd and Roger, they were chatting, and we met Stefan, the L1IO, came across asking us if we have the soldering tools. They have their own, but it appears it's their soldering tools working from 220 volts. So that was the situation. Early in the morning, we came to the station. We came to the station, and what we found, we found some problems because there was very, very wet. Location was very close to the, how to say, the pool, maybe. That's the water and those things, and generator was not working during the night time, so all the equipment, all the metal became very wet, and we found that in this paddle transmitting itself, and there is some strange things that band decoders, the indication was blinking all the time when we transmitting on one of the bands. So we had to reconnect the external tuner for 80 meters, and after this we could not solve all the problems with the ground, so we got the little Cure Mexico between 15 and 10 meters. But it seems to us that it was nothing wrong. So when the contest approaching, 50 minutes left, John opened the envelope with a very nice call sign Whiskey 1 Alpha. We were very, very happy, and exactly at 1200 we started to operate. But unfortunately, we learned again that the substituted computer starting to lack, and it seems to be that everything is okay when I press F1 and F4 buttons, but when I press enter, it's not logging. It's waiting sometimes 2 to 4 seconds to log the QSO. The delays became longer and longer and longer, and I saw that when we loading the computer, it gave us a message that there is some 800 problems on it. I thought that it may be register problems, and we continued on. But it appears it looks like some viruses was on, and it was almost impossible to operate. I tried to reload computer many times, but no any success, and it was absolutely impossible to operate CW because you already need to answer something, to do something, and it's still waiting till the next keystroke. And so at the end of the first hour, I took my headphones and stood up a couple of times and said that it's finished. We should leave. We don't need to continue the contest. But at this time, I saw that my partner Mindis was remaining very calm, absolutely calm, and so I started to operate again. And we asked it. We tried everything. Because we tried to fix, to locate where the problem comes from. We reconnected the score collecting computer. I reconnected all the peripherals like micro RAM and everything else. Nothing helped. Nothing helped. The computer loading extended to about 10 minutes, so it was impossible to operate. At this time, I discovered that I can operate as simply SSB and the logging QSOs on SSB. So I switched the microphone straight to the transceiver, switch off all the micro keys, everything, and just left the program, the possibility to log on the QSOs. And you know, when somebody is calling on SSB, let's say P5ZW, if I know that he's on zone 8, I immediately typing his call sign and pressing enter to log the QSO and waiting. But even then, when pilot becomes more heavy on SSB, then it was not possible to log on the computer, so I had to write QSOs on the paper, and later when the pilot slows down, I simply type in the computer. At the same time, we asked John if there's the possible to change the computer again. I think he checked with the headquarters and said yes. So then we asked the local staff, the volunteers, if there is the possible to get somewhere any computer, the desktop, any clunker, that we can change it. They said okay, they will figure out if it's possible to do it, and shortly you got the answer that the computer is on its way. Thanks to K1SX for lending us new computer. It seems to be exactly the same as mine T61 now Lenovo. So at I think at the 1546, it's almost 4 hours in the contest. At this time we switched off, and when we get a computer, we need some time to install the programs, to install the peripherals, drivers, everything else. And at 1709, we started to operate as a team. Only then, and at this time, you can see from this drawing that our score went down to the position 57. It was the lowest point that we were, and later we climbed up. Now this is this slide shows the difference, what we lost during the first hours. We lost a lot. We lost the multiplier, the 51. This is the different multiplier difference between W1A, YSK1A, YS champions. So we lost 51 multiplier, mostly of course on 10, 15, and 20 meters. So it's awful, but we continued on, and this is our rates. You see that the first, especially second hour, was awful, and then when we decided to operate one on CW, you got the one on SSB, that is me on SSB, the rates went up a little bit, and this is again the very big gap, and on the 5th hour of the contest. And after this, we went our way, and the final score was 6.3 million. At the beginning, at the middle of the contest, actually, we knew that we were going to make the top 10, but our expectation was a little bit higher. So some lessons was learned. First of all, I know that you have to bring spare equipment, even if you are crossing the Atlantics. So the PC, filters, radios. The funniest thing that we had the computer exactly the same that I bring to the US. It was completely installed. All the programs, everything necessary was on. But of course, we left it at home, so we're very, very sorry for this. 4 hours of sleep before the contest is not enough, of course. So we back to the hotel at midnight. I went to the bed at midnight, and at 4 o'clock in the morning we had to wake up and go to the position. This is the Lithuania delegation. You can see Vindis is XYL. That's Lima Yankee 7 Zulu was a referee, and he came to the United States with his family, his wife and son and daughter, and of course me and Ginteras, or Jin as we call him, in Lima Yankee 5 Yankee. So contest finished. Our tremendous thanks goes to WRTC 2014 organizing committees, Lithuanian Amateur Radio Society, Lithuanian Radio Sports Federation, and of course my native club, Kaunas University of Technology Radio Club. And this is the big list of the people who gave us the big support, of course, and the Americans at the site, and one NRW and 2GC, mentioned him earlier, K-Power for BAI, K1 Sugar XA for the computer, K1 KP, W1MA, W1BW. And of course, I want to thank Andy and 2 Norway Tango. He gave me very, very important information about the propagation while we were talking to him at the lobby at that ICOM room. So it was very, very valuable information. As I said again, if we are satisfied with our position at the end, I must say yes. The 6th position was that we could achieve, that we could get after this very bad start. But of course, we are not happy. We were ready for something better. And this is the final slide. You see our position is here. By the way, what we lost at the beginning, it was very hard to compensate. Also, we had the best score on 80 meters, I think, the best multiplier on 80 meters. So Ken, I think that's all from the Lithuanian team.
Okay, very good, Geddes. Very nice presentation, and yeah, you had quite a hurdle to overcome there in the beginning. So, okay, folks, bear with us for a minute. We will pass the presentation roll over here in a second to. Okay, so Manfred, you will be getting the presentation roll here. Just a second. And let's go ahead and okay, so the next team is Whiskey 1 Papa, and Manfred DJ5 Mike Whiskey will be showing the slides, and somewhere in the mountains of Germany, I forgot to ask him, is Stefan DL1 IAO, and these guys finished number 3 in the contest. So Manfred, Stefan, go ahead.
Yeah, good evening. This is the story of Whiskey 1 Papa. That's Manfred, DJ5MW, me, DL1 IAO, and Sugar Papa 4 Zulu, our referee. Next, please. We're going to talk about preparations, our station setup, the contest itself, and also discuss a few items. DJ5MW qualified, actually. We were Team Central Europe number 3, and Fortunately, he selected me as a teammate. I'm still very grateful for that. Thank you, Manfred. And we both worked together in 2000 in Slovenia already, but we also have some experience doing the European FILE contests year for year, actually, and operated a few other things together. I was also in California in '96 and in Finland 2002, but together with Roland DK3GI. So the first discussions began somewhere in September. I think Manfred just learned he would be a team leader, but my position was not fully clear. But yet we started to draw some sketches and made them back and forth with the smartphones, and it started quite simple. Kind of discussions what to do with the triplexer and how we could switch antennas. We thought about a 6-pack and how we would manage the filtering. But eventually it got a little bit more difficult, and the planning continued. Next, please. Next slide, please. Actually, lots of planning was there, but the first real hardware test was the Russian DX contest in March. Not too much time left, I think, but there were reasons for this. I had to change my complete setup from Windows 2000 to Windows 7, and this involved assembling new interfaces for the radio and basically design everything from the ground up again, get CW working, the voice keyer, which I never really used before. I always used the internal voice keyer in the radio, but not with the computer software, and the audio recording stuff and the CAT interface. Next, please. So there was lots of work to do, and we had some issues which were not really solved until the end, like kind of a sound card delay, which was responsible for a kind of an echo effect on SSB. It's still there, but hardly noticeable. But it's just one example for some of the problems we had. But maybe everyone has those problems when switching software architecture to Windows 7 or other architecture. So we just went through the problems everyone probably goes at one time. But in our case, it was just in advance to WRTC. And we also tried different setups for the referee audio and came up with a simple solution, like just a little plug as stated in the rules. And we also had a backup solution, which was an audio box built by the Bavarian Contest Club, and Roland DK3GI gave his one to us. Thanks a lot. So we thought we were prepared pretty well at the end, but still, as the other team already pointed out, there were always some problems, maybe in advance of the contest when you're at the site. Next, please. So time went by very quickly, and one funny story was shortly before WPXCW, both of us thought, well, okay, everything is ready. Why don't let's do the WPX single-op style, because everything is already working. But then I gave Manfred a phone call and said, maybe it's better I drive to his location and we put up together everything again and try it. Then I realized everything is on my table and it's getting later and later. So I phoned again and said, Manfred, maybe it's better you come to my QDH. And that's what we did. So I put up a little R8 vertical, and we had everything on the table. And we were testing with the vertical and the triplexer, which worked out quite fine, actually. And so this was our last preparation. And after that, next slide, please. We needed another weekend to label and pack everything. So all in all, I drove to Manfred's site one time. He came to my site 2 times, which combines to a total of 2,100 km by car. And we had other helpers, DL4NAC and DL6 MHW helped out transporting all the equipment. Actually, Martin, DL4NAC, took the same flight than me, so he could really help transporting all the stuff. So the station setup is basically my setup, a pair of iPhone Pro 3s with the invert roofing filter mod, 403A, 3 plexes and filters. We decided for the WX0B 6-pack. CW setup was simple with a little item press key and benches. SSB, we used HiPro Plus. The HC5 microphone fits our voices better than other microphones. And at the very end, we decided to use W2 IHY's EQ Plus box to modify our audio just a little bit. This was a last-minute decision, but it worked out quite well. I have Apple Mac Minis, which I use with Windows 7. We bought our own monitors, and at the end, we tried to have most of everything as a spare, even the radio. And as most of you know, the ICOM radios are quite heavy, so I was lucky that DL4 NAC took one of the radios in his luggage. We tried to spend a good amount of time optimizing the station hardware. We discussed what to do with the antenna tuner situation. We bought 2 tuners, but finally used the internal ICOM tuners then. That was no problem because with the high power filters, we just tune through the filters actually. And we measured power output and didn't see a difference. And we didn't like the LDG tuners too well. One interesting feature was we really wanted to use the dipoles as a second choice antenna for 15 and 20 meters. So basically the 40 meter dipole as a second antenna for 15 and the 80 meter dipole as a second antenna for 20 meters. I didn't expect the 80 meter dipole to really work on 20, and this was the case. I think it didn't use the 80 meter dipole for a single QSO on 20 meters. But Manfred actually used the 40 meter dipole in situations where the beam was pointing to Europe, and we heard some multipliers from other directions. And actually we thought maybe one station is running Europe at a high rate and doesn't want to move the beam away from Europe, so the other station maybe could use the dipole to run stateside. But I think at the end we just used it for a couple of QSOs. Next, please. So this is our station diagram. We tried to put just everything into the diagram, so we also have a reference when we set up the station. One thing is missing, that's the IHY box, which came in at the very last minute. But I think the most interesting item of the diagram is in the blue box. These are the 2 AB switches, actually 2 AB switches for each of the dipoles, which were used to distribute the dipoles and the dry band paths to the band filters. And we have used the WX0B control box with 2 additional switches, so we could decide if the 40 or 80 meter dipole could be used for 15 or 20 meters respectively. Next, please. So in Boston, in the hotel, I decided to put the computer hardware on the desk and see if everything is still working. We saw our luggage really thrown out of the airplane, so I was worried about the computers. We also used the time to tweak the network and the software a little bit. Next, please. At the end, the setup looked like this. We had the rotor control box and the antenna control in the middle, actually in front of the referee. We decided to be apart a little bit, so when some of us would do SSB, the interference would be minimized. I know some teams moved together very closely, but we decided we needed some space. Next, please. So this is how each station looked. To the left is the W2 box, the radio in the middle, the monitor above it, and the computer hardware to the right. Next, please. And here's a picture of the WX0B control box. Note the 2 little switches to the right and to the left. Just abused the box for that, and it came in quite handy to have all the switching in one box. So we moved to the site. It was one of those sites in Mars, and at first it seemed a bit difficult to reach the location. It was a very small road through some forest, and at first we decided not to use the car there because we might get stuck. But then, after all, we made it to the QTH with a car. Next, please. And we thought it was a pretty good site, but it was hard to see how the topography actually would be because of all the trees surrounding. We knew we were lined up with other stations. There were at least 2 other stations just 500 meters from us, and this showed on the bands we had some interference on 15 meters, as one of the other stations really was like S9 plus 70 on the meter. But it didn't really keep us from operating. We would settle down maybe 15 to 20 kilohertz inside the other station, and we would be able to operate. And when 10 meter opened on Sunday morning, we had some problems on CW because every 10 kilohertz or so, a station would be there already, and it was difficult to find a channel. So at that point, I decided to move up to SSB and work the Europeans there, and I think we didn't miss too much. Maybe it was also a problem with the ICOM Pro 3s. You know, many stations use the K3, which might have a slight advantage with the big signals, but at the end, when we talked to other teams, we thought it was pretty much the same at all locations. We also had to realign the dipoles because they were a little bit too close together. And that's Jim and 3BB on the left on the picture, trying to get the direction for the 40-meter dipole, and everyone really helped a big deal, so we would be able to align the antennas correctly. Next, please. So we got Whiskey 1 Papa as a call. Next. And this is us operating during the contest. On the left picture, that's Manfred turning the rotor. We turned the beam a lot of times to optimize beam directions. We were not really used to how a contest would be from New England. I did operate WAE in 1999, I believe, from N3RS, but that was a contest you just have all beams fixed to Europe. So we tried a lot with beam directions. The multiplier showed up, and we got some visitors. K5ZD came at one point and listened to me working phone on 20 meters, and it was the best run on phone we had during the whole contest. So when it was over, I told Randy maybe it would have been better he stayed longer at the site, because when he went, the rate went away also. Next, please. And in the wee hours, we got some problems with the jet lag, although I decided to be at WRTC a little bit earlier, and I missed all the parties in the evening. I still had some problems in the morning, and at one point I stood up, and Manfred stood up, and we decided to keep alert and concentrated, but we did have some problems in the morning, and I think it also showed in the QSO totals. Next, please. Yeah, and Manfred's pointing there, we were lucky that our site crew really helped a big deal to keep us working. They bought German bread, German meat. It was just amazing. We were really very happy with our site crew, and if there was an award for them, I'm sure they would get the award for the best site crew. It was just amazing. Also Wes, as our referee, was just super. We cannot think of a better referee. He really made us, he really kept us motivated, so we would give our best at the end. So everyone really applauded when we were finished with the contest. That's Jim and 3BB and our side crew to the right. And yeah, that's the whole team in the bottom picture, and all the equipment also in boxes lined up already for leaving. But I think we spent at least 1 hour or so at the site chatting with everyone, and we were really thankful for the site crew, and it was an amazing experience for us. It was great hospitality. Oh, now it's over to Manfred.
Okay, hello everybody, DJ5MW now. I'm gonna present some numbers to talk about strategy and so on. And first, I want to point out that we more or less divided the bands between the operators. So I did almost all QSOs on 15 and 40 meters, and Stefan did 20, all QSOs on 20, and most QSOs of 10 and 80 meters. I made also some 80 meters in the evening and during the night, and some 10 meters when he was busy with his station. And this worked very well for us, and we thought every operator was responsible for his bands. And so yeah, you know your band, you know the opening, and so nothing should be missed. So when you go to a band which the other operator had done before, maybe you tune through the same stations, and maybe we thought this would be the better strategy. Yeah, we try to optimize Europe, of course, on CW, and try to run SSB whenever high rates seem to be possible. But at the end, it turned out that was not the best strategy. We should have tried less often to go to SSB. Yeah, that's the difference in nowadays with the skimmers and so on. In CW, when you call CQ, you're immediately spotted, and the rate goes up. And in SSB, you call CQ, no one answers, and you go on CQ, and maybe a station comes back, and you hopefully he will spot you, but that's not always the case. And even when I had a feeling I was spotted, the SSB QSOs or the SSB rates were mainly not so good. So, but nevertheless, we thought we had to do a lot of SSB, that this was important to get a high rank. But if we had access to the live scores, we had seen that K1A did almost only CW, so maybe we would have changed that. And of course, multipliers are very important, and we try to move semi-rare multipliers from the beginning. And maybe not so many moves were possible than normally we do in field day contest, but okay, I'm sure this helped. And of course, accuracy was the key factor at the end. We didn't know that before, but at the end we were very lucky to get 2 places up here by our good luck. So now some statistics. This is our QSO statistic over the 24 hours, and you see there's no really high rates. Best hour was 273. That's not too many QSOs, and yeah, we had a quite rough start. I don't know. I was on 15 starting CW, and I couldn't get a decent run going on, so I switched to search and pounce right from the beginning. Which normally isn't the best thing to do, but in that moment, yeah, I just try to maximize QSOs, and if there's no one answering on your frequency and you try another frequency and it's the same, and another it's also the same, so what else should you do? So I switched to a search and pounce, and yeah, made some HQ mults and so on right from the beginning. And yeah, nothing special to tell in these hours. It was from the beginning we had place number 8 or something, and went down to 17, and in our 1600 here, finally we were on place number 2. No, it's place number 4 on the first, and later on 2. So what did we do this hour? I just went through the log before and looked what we did in this hour, but it was nothing so special. So I had a good run on SSB on 15 meters, which is quite rare, and did some search and pounds later on. And Stefan was on 20 SSB CW, but did also some 10 meters, and maybe the 10 meter mults combined with a more or less good rate pushed us up in this hour. And from that on, we had a good ranking and lost some ground later on when it came to 80 meters. There was a situation in the middle of the night when Stefan cried from the right side, "Oh, I'm not getting through on 80, I'm not getting through." And I don't know, I couldn't help from my station, so yeah, he just kept on operating. And after an hour or so, I thought maybe it's the 80 meter filter, and so I went down the table and removed the 80 meter filter and hoped that it would work without it, and yeah, it turned out that it wasn't needed, so we had no interference without the filter. And from that point on, I had a feeling that 80 meter was a little bit better, but maybe it was the conditions. It's hard to tell afterwards. But we had no runs of Europeans on 80. We just made a few of them, and it was too late for some HQ stations when we solved the problem there. And here where the sign is pointing, that's a very bad rate. Just around 60, and this 2 hours, I don't know, this was a time where nothing really was going on. Search and pounds maybe was also not so productive. Maybe we had too much search and pounds before and couldn't get more QSOs in this period. And then bands started to go up again, and at the end we had this 10 meter running, and that was a good thing here. So next is multipliers. So you see we started from the beginning with working multipliers, and yeah, at the end here's a 10 meter peak again with that welcome opening on 10. Again here you can see the points. It's all points, hourly points. And here the last hour was also very important. So what else? Both operators made almost the same QSO count. Just about 50 QSOs difference between the two of us. And same with accuracy. I looked on the UBN file, and as we divided the bands, we can see who made which errors, and it's nice to see that almost that we have the same error rate. So I'm very proud to be in a team with Stefan, and that we are so working good as a team. So here again the scoreboard, that's from N6TV. I borrowed that, and here you can see our progress again with a low start with the ranks from 8 to 17, and then catching up at around 17 Zulu, and yeah, going up to number 2, and then later on we're losing ground at about 5 Zulu, maybe because of the 80 meter thing, but maybe also because of some fatigue, which was quite bad. Okay, and that's it already. We want to thank the WRTC organizers and everyone involved in the event. It was really a great thing to be there and so much work what was done from the organizers and site crews and so on. And we want to thank especially our site crew at 15W. Then Wes, our referee, was a very nice guy and helped us in many aspects. We want to thank Jim and 3BB, our driver, and DL4 NIC and DL6 MHW for helping with the luggage. It wouldn't have been so easy to get so much things to the States with in the airplane, so we had about 70 kilos and that was only possible dividing the things. And W2IHW with the audio box, and Roland DK3GI with the BCC audio box. Okay, Stefan, is there anything to add or are we done?
That's it. Thank you.
Okay, very good, guys. Thank you very much. If everyone will stand by for a minute, we will bring in our final team here. So, Rasto, the presentation role will be coming to you in a second.
Okay.
So, okay, it should be popping up on your screen now. Okay, you can go ahead and put that in presentation mode or in the slideshow. Yeah, it looks like you have to go up into the, you're not in the slideshow mode yet, Rasto.
Okay.
You can go and click on slideshow and,
Okay.
or however you get into that mode.
Can I start?
Yeah, but I mean, your PowerPoint, I think, is not in slideshow mode yet. Don't you have to go up to slideshow and click that? And
Yes, I click.
there we go. Okay. So, okay, our final team is the Whiskey 1 Lima team of Ocean Mike 3 Bravo Hotel, Rasto, and Joseph Ocean Mike 3 Gulf India from the Slovak Republic. And they finished number 2 in the competition. So go ahead, guys. The floor is yours.
Okay. Good evening, good morning to everybody. I would like to introduce us and some information about our participation. I'm Oscar Mike 3 Bravo Hotel, and my teammate Oscar Mike 3 Golf India. It was the third participation in WRTC. Previous we participated in Slovenia. It was the first time. We finished on 22 place, and after 10 years we participate in Russia, and we finished on 70th place. And after finishing WRTC in Russia, we're thinking about next WRTC. Who are we? We are, both of us are members of the Oscar Mike 8 Alpha team, and we usually participate CQ WW contest in the multi-single categories, and during the qualification time we worked from this location or from Madeira. We are representing, we represented Europe 4 area, the Central Europe, consists of Hungary, Austria, Czech Republic, Slovakia, Slovenia, and Poland. 5 teams participated, and you can see there was a very tight result. The first was E1, OA3DIA, very close, OM2VL, OM3BH, OM3GI, Wolf, OA2 Victor Echo Lima, and Teenage Sugar 50 Alpha. Preparation for the WRTC. I mentioned we started to think about participation in the US already in 2010, and we participate in the contest like CQWW, WPX, IRL, and the Russian DX contest from our location, Oscar Magid Alpha, and also from CT3. I would like expressed thanks to the Madeira contest team, especially Louis Charlie Tango 3 Echo Echo and Charlie Tango 3 Bravo Delta. Regarding preparation of equipment, we start preparation of our equipment maybe from April, only last month, and we test our setup only one time, the first and last time during CQ Mir. I went to visit Joseph, Oscar Mike Golf India, and on the at his garden we erect a tri-band antenna. Tri-band are very similar, like TX38, and one inverted V for 40 meters, and we testing our setup. The other preparation was analysis of logs from Yaru Championship 2012 and 2013, and we have endless discussion about strategy and watching propagation through Skype and through GSM mobile. Regarding setup, we used two different equipments. Joseph used ICOM 7600. He used this equipment, and he is positive for ICOM, and during the contest he likes use band scope. And I used K3 plus an adapter from Aircraft. This equipment was chosen for its weight. For transportation is very good. It is a big advantage of Aircraft equipment. We used two pieces bandpass filter, OM6 BPF, and special WRTC band switch, designed by OM3GI and software OM3BC. I will show you in next slides. One antenna switch and triplexer design VA6AM. This triplexer was built in antenna switch box. Everything was made by OM3GI. It was compact one box, and this box contains antenna switch and also triplexer. Two laptops and two BCC preselector for sure, but there was not needed to use. We have not any interferences. Antenna tuner for tuning dipole for 80 meters, but we bought this antenna tuner 10 days before WRTC in the Friedrichshafen. Also we used a transformer 110 to 212 20 volts for sure. We used power supply with switch 110 and 220 volts, but only for sure we used also transformer. We had also one piece spare K3 and we used log software WinTest, and also audio recorder was software from WinTest. Setup diagram is very simply. You can see there is 2 transceiver, 2 bandpass filter, OM6 BPF. On the right side is a WRTC band switch. It's a special box designed for WRTC in Moscow. Antenna switch, triplexer, and 1 antenna tuner. You can see photo, bandpass filter. We use him in automatic mode. It's fully automatic band switching. It is a special small box WRTC band switch. This band switch also provides interlock, but we did not use it because the rules in US were a little bit different as in Moscow. And this is antenna switch from UA2 Fox Zulu. It's a very light aluminum box, and inside is a switch and also triplexer, a design of VA6AM, and this triplexer shows very good parameters. That is advantage because we avoid to lot of number of cables, and we have experienced a lot of issues came from connectors and from cables, and we want to avoid to use a number of cables and connectors. Strategy and tactics. We're talking a lot of times about it, and main point is both operators are equal. Each team number decided by himself, CQ mode, surge and pound mode, band, QSY, and so on and so. And the one station should constantly work on 20 meters. And other point, focus on CW. CW is more effective than SSB, and also in Moscow we tried make QSO on SSB, and it is not effective with 100 watts. And we often jump on SSB, try to make SSB pile up, but if after a short time, after several CQ, without pile up, without response, without reaction, we returned to CW. And call multiplier maximum 2 or 3 times. If not reaction, we QSY away and focus on 5 points QSO. Our antenna most of time was pointed to the Europe. Maybe two times I turned antenna to US, but maybe 90% antenna pointed to Europe. Location draw. We did not have a large choice. We were in the order on 53 place, 15 position from 15 cluster were away, also 9 position were away. We we expect what we will draw. We will draw number 14A. It was, you can see on a map, it was southwest part. Maybe location is good according profile. That is a photo from our site. You can see me on 3BH, our site manager W1MA, and Charlie NF4A, OM3GI, and 10 sponsor SP3 Kilo Echo Yankee. This is our antenna. That is our hamshake. You can see on the left side K3 with the BCC preselector on K3. On ground is a transformer. On the right side is ICOM, and on the table in middle you can see a lot of cables. This cable, UTP cables, but we did not use a number of coaxial cables and so on. So it's very simply and very reliable. This is our operation tent, and on back you can see our site volunteer in white shirt N1AT. In red shirt is Charlie and NF4A with discussion with me. Happy OM3BH. Thanks for photo to the Echo 98 Mike. And Joseph in action. What brought success? I think the reliability and functionality of our setup. Setup is full automatization. We can change band in a few milliseconds from a PC. Bandpass filter, antenna switch, triplexer are built in the compact box. And I mentioned we avoided a number of cables and connectors. Good quality of triplexer and antenna switch. We did not lose output power, loss of signal path less than 0.7 dB on 10 meters. On 20 meters less than 0.5 dB. Using of a P3 adapter and the band scope of ICOM 7600, it's very useful in surge and pound mode and during QSY. You can check very quick present station of the station on the band. And now I agree with Joseph. It is very useful use of using of adapter band scope, and absolutely no interference between our radio. Everything worked very good, and fortunately Mr. Murphy did not visit us. What we could do better? We break our strategy. Our strategy was one station should work on 20 meters, but we break it during the night. We have one station on 40 and the second station worked on 80. It was mistake, and we spent too much time on 80 meters, and there was station only a local station from zone number 8. It was QSO for 2 points. and we lost too much time watching 10 meters band. We expected to open 10 meters band, but after the fight everyone is general. And in search and pal mode, no waste time by calling 2-point station. It's also maybe a mistake in my opinion. Some statistic. We worked 48% Europe, 47% North America, 2% South America, 2% Asia, something less than 1% Oceania. Rate during between 22 and 0.3-4 hours rate was balanced, very good, but we did not avoid the creases between 7 and 9 o'clock. We made only about 85 QSO. It was a mistake. Ratio between CW and SSB, we made 79% and SSB around 20%. This client score, you can see on 80 meters average per QSO is only 2.2. Finally, we would like to thank to the organizing committee of WRTC. All thanks to site volunteers N1AT and KB1VYH and site manager W1MA. We would like to express our thanks to our referee Charlie and F4A, and on the end, congratulations to the winners N6MJ and KL9A and all others WRTC team for this competition. It's all from my side.
Okay, Rasto, very good. Thank you much. Nice presentation. Okay, I want to alert all the presenters that I'm going to go ahead and make your microphones hot for the question and answer session. If you have questions, go ahead and fire those in now. I do have a couple in the queue. I'm going to grab the presentation roll. And just give me 1 second here. Okay. All right, I think we're all set. So, first question comes from Kazu Mike 0 Charlie Fox Whiskey or JK3 Golf Alpha Delta, wondering what SDR manufacturer model was used. How was the SDR screen used during the contest? Did you pass CAT info to the SDR software so you could click in QSY? Let me shoot it over to Geddes first. Do you have any response from your team, Geddes?
Okay, now after the crash of the computer, only one station were using the SDR, and it was it was specially made with Duke's micro SDR, Echo United 1 Mike Charlie, the small box, and the special sound cards. It was a NAP3 program was running to have the PAN adapter. Yeah, well, if there was a click on or not, no, there was not possibility to click on and to tune the transceiver. You have to tune the transceiver on the peak manually. So, and the both my transceiver FT1000, there was specially made the out from the IF, and and the special program was used to have all the unadapter features. But as I said, we changed the computers 2 times, so finally I didn't use the. I forgot to mention at my presentation that actually we lost about 2.5 hours. That was one station only was operating.
Okay, very good. Manfred or Stefan, do you want to pass on anything?
Yeah, we use the band scope of the ICOMS, the built-in band scope, and we find it useful if the band is not really open. You can see activity on the scope, but you cannot click it in our case. And sometimes I personally use it when I'm looking for a CQ frequency. So sometimes you can find a hole on the band with that, but no possibility to click on it.
Okay, Rasto, any comments on that question? Anything else you would like to add?
The same, like mentioned Stefan, we cannot click, and we only check the band if it's open, no open, and to check our frequency if somebody is very close to us. It's all, but very useful for checking, example, 10 meters. You can see very quick what happened on band, what happens, what is open or not, is there some activity or not. It's good helper.
Okay, very good. Next question. I think Manfred and Stefan, was it you that had the audio problem with Windows 7?
Yeah. First, with the preparations, we spent some time to get the recording right, but it worked then. And then I think one really plugged in correctly, and we didn't have a recording of the second station, which was my station.
Okay, Bob N6 TV was wondering if there's anything you did to solve the delay problem, or I think you said you had a little bit of a delay problem left by the time you had everything working.
Not yet, so we are open for any help.
I will just add, I think it was 2 years ago, before CQ Worldwide Phone, I tried to use Windows 7 as a single op 2 radio, where you take the output from the sound card in the right and left channel and split them to 2 radios. This was using the Right-Log SO2R box, and it was such a mess, and there were delays and everything, and my solution was finally I gave up in frustration and went on eBay and bought a Vista machine for like $50 or $60 and used that, and it worked fine. So, okay, folks, any other questions? If not, we will go ahead and wrap this up. We ran a little bit long, but that's fine. 3 excellent presentations, very well done, and we don't get to do this every year, so it's nice to have the teams on here. Okay, I don't see any other questions coming in, so with that, we will go ahead and wrap up. Again, to our presenters, thank you very, very much for your time. Putting the presentation together. We had to get on ahead of time and just do a little dry run and everything, and your time and your effort is greatly appreciated. So with that, we will wrap it up. I just want to mention that the webinar program, our subscription, has been sponsored for another year by the Worldwide Radio Operators Foundation. So we're grateful for that. You will see some new presentations coming up here shortly. I'm working with some people to schedule a few things. And if you haven't already, go to their webpage, www.wwrof.org. Check them out. If you wouldn't mind, give them a hand. They can certainly use your support financially or whatever you have to offer. I've been doing a lot of good work, and especially with this webinar program, we do appreciate their support. So with that, everyone, thank you very much for joining us today. Have a great night, a great day wherever you are, and we'll see you again next time. So long.